Hello gang. Oh, it's nice and sunny today. Oh, for fuck's sake. What is it? I've left the fucking door open. There's nothing been... It's me, I've left it open. What a fucking clown. I was in here and... what a moron. I was in here, was it Saturday I was in here? Dumpling. Well, it's quite a quiet area here, so this is where the DVDs, which got taken to Falkirk, were. Right. You fucking fanny. This lot's got to go to Glams. Yeah, okay. Right. Right, anyway, so welcome to... We're at the painting, is what we're doing. Right. Going for the painting, so... let's see what it looks like. Sort of light, well, I don't really need the lights, but well, I'll put them on. So what we've got here, so plan, alright, we'll need to get the can't download updates. Right, right. So we've just got to sit here and look at this. So what the potential problems are that you can overwork artworks. Stop swinging around. Sorry. You know, you can overwork them. Is especially pastels, but this is paint. So it gets to the point where your head sort of it's a bit like somebody saying, "Oh well, I'll give you £1 million or whatever," right? But no, I don't know if that's what it is. But so there comes a point when it's finished, right? So what I'm looking at right now is that point, right? So there's things about this that I'm not totally 100% happy with. So you know, then. I'll go and do another one. But each artwork is individual. So this is it. This is the best that I could come up with at this moment in time. So artworks have merit. So going for absolute perfection is not really, you know, depends what sort of art you want, doesn't it? You know. So you're getting a piece of me with this. You're getting a piece of me. This is me. And that's what art is about. It's about putting you into your art. In this case, it's canvas. And I think a lot of them don't. I see it a lot where people don't get that at all. It's not about perfection. It's not about everyone being perfect. Now, what I'm looking at right here is there's a problem with that red. So I might put... There's a bit of a problem there. I think we'll go over that again. So we're going to go over... So the main... What about the clock? I think we'll just leave it the way it is. That bit's not really very well resolved, is it? Right, so... The mini... I'm not going to touch it. We'll leave it. I'm not going to... I think we'll leave the no entry sign thing and all its... I mean the sort of brickwork and everything, that was really quick when I did that, and I think that's fine, just leave it the way it is. You don't really want to detract from the image, so you don't want to be looking at this going, oh wow, that hotel looks amazing, and you can't see the rest of it. The sky, I quite like the darkness up here. Yeah, I think we'll just leave that. The black, I shouldn't use black, and I sort of tried to morph it into turquoise, so it's like turquoise down there. I'll just leave that. This is supposed to be bushes. I had considered putting some light green on there to represent the leaves. I don't know. I don't know if I should do that or not. I don't think so. See that one? That's got more greenery in it. I was trying to have sort of like a defined difference between. It was more lineal rather, I was trying to make it more lineal, like straight lines. No, we're not going to do greenery there. That's dark green, that'll do. No, because I think it could detract from the image, because you keep that darkness in the background. Right, so we'll go over this again with the yellow to make that look more gold. Right, so then the next plan is we need to take this tape off. So we're going to get some red, do that. Just touch that up a bit. Fucking hell. A wee bit more white around it. Okay. No, dinna. Oh, for fuck's sake, this bit's not really quite. That could be better. Well, don't detract from it. That's a tough one, isn't it? Tough one. No, I think we'll just leave it in all its glory. So, are you going to fix the red bit then? Yeah, there's a bit there as well. Are you going to leave the rest of it? Why? So you've got to ask yourself, why are you leaving it? Is it because you're lazy? Or is it because you just can't be arsed anymore? Is that why? So you're kind of leaving, like, the artist's... I'm going to do a book of artist's excuses. That's going to be brilliant. So we can get away with whatever we want. Like, if there's an airline pilot, I couldn't get away with it, especially if it crashes in the sea. Right, so, the tape. This is going to be the difficult bit. We've got to take the tape off. And then we're going to paint in the details. That bit, that bit, that bit, that bit, and that bit have to be painted in. See, that's where the tape is. So you're going to lose all that. I had considered... cutting the tape and leaving these bits on. I'm still weighing that up in my head. I'm scared that the knife that I use goes right through the canvas. Is why I don't want to do that. I'm still thinking about that. So I'd have to get like the knife and just go around there, right around there and right the way back up there. Alternatively, you just mix up the paint and paint it in. You could do that, can't you? So I think, so it's looking like we could actually take the tape off this. Really, because, any other improvements you can make can be made. You don't want to do any more of this. You don't want to do any more of that and that and that and that. So why don't you just take the tape off? Is that what you're going to do? No, let's fix this red, right? And then we'll go and have our breakfast. Yeah, I think so. This shouldn't take too long. We do that now anyway. Oh god, we're going to have to clean the water. The water's minging. Sorry. Hang on. I'm back. I'm back. Right, so this is quite a simple thing. It's not difficult. This is the easy option here. We're just touching up that red. So all we're doing is sorting out the red. It's not a problem. What brush are you going to use? We need... So, I mean, there's flaws with this thing, and I'm looking at them, I can see them. I hear you and I can see you. There is flaws. Right? There is definitely flaws. Definitely. So, is this really the best brush you could find for doing this? So the art world's a weird world, yeah, it's definitely a strange one. Doesn't really make sense. It does. I've always realised that it gives you room for manoeuvre, whereas in other professions, you don't necessarily get room for manoeuvre. Um, so, so what's on today? Well, so this is Glams week. So we're going up to Glams on Friday for a weekend up there. So it's going to be great. Loads of cars, everything like that. It's going to be fantastic. So I've got to get the van sorted out for that in the motorhome. So we'll be going. So that what I really want to do, one of the reasons I want to finish this is that I've pieced together the videos, you know, of this process, and I want to get them all linked together. And I don't suppose that many people. There's not going to be a lot of people watch it, but you're going to see pretty much, well, not all of it, but the videos for the last week or so pieced together. So it'll be easier for me to get them straight off the phone rather than putting them in. So I haven't emptied my phones, these two, for about a week, well, more than a week, because I've got these images of these videos. I want to put them together so the buyer of this, or anyone, can go and look and watch it being made, you know. Which is part of it's a process that I suppose we can do now because technology allows it. We could always do it, but it's a lot easier now, isn't it? It's a lot easier for any old idiot like me to record. So the videos I'm doing critiquing Craig Houston, I quite enjoy doing them. I don't know if there are going to be that many people watch them, but I don't think so. Well, not so far anyway. I'm quite enjoying doing it. I think probably for a point of view, it's nice to get the correct point of view across, or at least a more reasonable one. Because these people think that they can just say any old stuff and get away with it. Lie about stuff to their audience, which is actually, it's kind of not good for their audience either, is it? I mean, the audience I know they sort of don't really care about these things, and it's maybe a low resolution audience, but it's not really helping them, is it? So the bogeyman's a doctor, a trans doctor, according to Craig. It's just not true. It's not right what he's doing. You know, so I enjoyed doing that. So I've been watching Uncle Jammer Talks as well. I like him. I'm not saying I don't like Craig actually, you know, despite the fact that he's been quite mean and discriminatory against certain people. But I think he's not going to like me, is he? Because I've called him a fanny and everything. I mean, pals call each other fannies, but I'm not his pal, I've never met him. So I think there's maybe a Central Scotland thing there, where you call your pal, it's called banter, isn't it? It's your friends, so you can do that, so you can insult your friends, and it is great fun. Don't let anybody say you shouldn't do it. You should. It's funny, you know, but I suppose in some circumstances it's inappropriate. You know, so Callum used to say to me, "How come you do painting yet you can't paint your own house?" Well, the answer to that is get you to fucking do it, you clown. I'm putting quite thick paint on here. I like the idea of this really bright red, you know. If I was really into this, I'd actually use like a round thing to stop the paint going on, but I think I can manage just to steady my hand. I didn't touch any. I took some kind of asthma attack yesterday, so I didn't have any alcohol last night. I thought it'd make me feel worse. So I'm not exactly sure what caused it. My friend gave me this Chinese thing that had chili on it, and I took the whole lot, all the sauce, and he's blaming it on that, but I don't think it was that. I think it was a combination of everything, plus the tiredness. If you don't get any sleep, I have taken like turns when I've been car booting, when I've not been sleeping at night. You're in a car, so, you know, but generally in the winter it's definitely worse. In the summer it's not so bad. If you don't sleep, you know, you're not sleeping properly, it's part of the thing. You get people that sleep in cars, or they try to sleep, but the reality is they're not actually sleeping, are they? There's another thing I don't do. If MD doesn't really know me that well, I don't take phone calls. If MD's trying to... So that's an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, I take phone calls just from one person. But my daughter phoned once. She doesn't phone me much. If she phoned, I would take a call for her, but she's my daughter, so... You know, I don't take phone calls, and the reason, if you want to do some kind of business with me or anything like that with me, you need to message me. So there's reasons for that. And I suppose it's just learning the hard way in life. I don't like being forced into positions because I haven't had time to think about things. And phone calls do that. You know, it might work for you, maybe phone calls work for you, but I prefer text messages or emails, and that way I can look and assess and try and work out what the person is actually wanting, or if there's any dangers there. So that, and the reason I'm saying that is somebody I know has been trying to phone me and I'm not answering it, and it is a strange thing. And you might say, well, because I could be losing out here, or it could be some... I think the reality is, if there's anything important, fucking message me and tell me, you know? And that's kind of what I do. I don't know what you do, but that's what I do. And I don't take phone calls unless it's from somebody I know, and I know their phone, and I know when they're phoning and stuff like that. So I don't take phone calls. And it's just come from, so it's come from a point where it's about manipulation, I suppose. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm not claiming that the person that's trying to phone me is trying to manipulate me. Which leads me on to mention the numpty neighbours. He would, well, I don't talk to him at all now. I will not talk to him. He's blown that. But what he does is he would kind of like set out what he wanted. So it was always what he wanted. It was never shared. Oh, I don't know, it was very rarely shared. I think I was stretching it. Even when I was doing something for him, he made it seem like he was doing everything for me. It was a really weird psychology. But he would do things in such a hurry that he would get what he wanted and have it set out, and then that would work for him. So he would get what he wanted, and it was a technique he used. I don't know where he learned it. Maybe at the council or something, work for Stirling Council. Maybe that's what they teach them in management. You know, because obviously that's like a communist organisation, isn't it? So you're not going to get top people working for the council, are you? Because really it's a communist organisation. I already said that. So what he was doing was this isn't a phone call scenario. This is a he would come up and say things, and then I would land up doing something I didn't want to do with him. You know, that's how he did it. And then I realised that every time, so it was like 5 times, for example, right? And I was losing materials, I was losing autonomy, I was losing... He was actually stealing like my space, if you like. And it's just something that he does. And that's fine, but he doesn't do it with me anymore. And that's because he's blown it, and I won't talk to him. It's all got to be solicitors now. So that's kind of how it works. I want to be treated fairly, and I want to treat you fairly, and that wasn't happening. And it was like it's quite interesting how he did it actually. And then you'd be left going, oh wait a minute, I've agreed to something that I don't fucking want. When I've started thinking about it, oh, how's that going to work? No, I don't like that. And he goes right ahead and does it. He would just do what he wanted. It's fucking brilliant. And maybe it's worked for other people, but it's a fucking shit way to do things. Make sure other people are happy with what you're doing. You know, so emotional intelligence, I don't think there's any there. So it was, I've got something for you, I'll help you to take my shit away from me. And then, can you tidy it up? Because I can't bear to look at my own shit in your garden. And I thought, what the fuck's wrong with you? You are really weird. And that was the last time. That was the last time. What a fanny. A complete fanny. A complete and utter fucking fanny. So there's people, there's another element to this. When you're talking to a man, you're not talking to the man. There's a woman behind the man. And that would have been more so in the past. Now, you know, you've got all sorts of things happening. Different social situations. That you wouldn't have had in the past. Say like, I was reading one today about this woman whose wife, you know, who had a wife. She was ill or something. Or did she die? I can't remember what it was. Yeah, she died. So she's got a wife. You wouldn't have got that in the 50s. Because women aren't allowed to marry other women. You know, so that's the sort of... it's a lesbian thing, isn't it, really? Or is it just some kind of social contract where they like living with other women? You know, is that what it is? So that's unusual. And that's really why Craig is out of touch. We're back to Craig again. Because he doesn't seem to be commenting on any of these types of situations. Women being married to women, men being married to other men. He seems to be sort of pretending that's fine and bashing a trans doctor. A judge as well, by the way. So, when we were talking about phone calls. Yeah. Oh shit. You're going over the white now, aren't you? I was talking about phone calls now, I don't answer them. And I've started rabbiting about all sorts of things. So then I brought it over as somebody who attacks me verbally. Attacks? I would say it is attacks, yeah. Because it's all for what he wants. Or, well, I was kind of articulating that there's somebody behind him that's pulling strings. And that's plain to see. You know, somebody's controlling. So he's getting a rough time. It's not my problem, is it? You know what I mean? I've got my life, you've got yours. You know, I didn't choose your life for you. You know, so that's how we... Right, so is that better then? I think we might go... yeah, so is that better? I would say it is. You can ruin things painting, you can just go and do something stupid. like there's too much water on here, right? So that's something that would be example of something stupid. I'm just trying to spread the paint in a bit so we don't have little marks, and there is rough bits, and if I was really bothered I could sandpaper that. Right, what else we've got to do? Well, that's... So you went over the white a wee bit now, you fucking clown. Right, that's that, right, okay? So, I think this calls for a coffee. So what's the next thing? Right, let's go and have a coffee. We'll come back out and we'll take that tape off. What else did you want to do? Yeah, oh yeah, you were gonna touch on this. Yeah, okay, we'll do that then now. Right, quickly. Don't do anything quickly! Fuck's sake! Quick! Do you know what quick means? Fuck ups. Quick means a fucking disaster. So, you know, you have to work out a way of living your life. And, you know, yeah, this brush is not ideal for this. It's not good. We're going to have to try and see what other brushes we've got in this place. There will be better ones floating around. Definitely, yeah, there's definitely better brushes around. See, that's not fucking good, is it? That's fucked. I think, well, one of the problems I have got is I'm not looking after them. You leave them in like that, it fucks them up. They don't like it. You know, the brushes don't like getting left like that. So they go all droopy. They go all droopy and funny. So this brush, it's got like a double wick. It's become weirded out. It's become weirded out, man. Don't lean on the red. Don't lean on the fucking red. I think that's alright. Make it a bit more standoutish so it's more, you know, so this here we'll need to do. Right, so, why has this got yellow on it here? Does it really matter? Let's say, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll get some white on this and we'll try and we'll tidy this bit up a bit. Then we'll go for breakfast. So it doesn't matter if the yellow's gotten in there. Okay? You don't want water dripping down. So you nearly did that, didn't you? Right. That's tidier, isn't it? Remember, this is going to get, some of this is going to get cut off anyway. It's the penis. It's not fucking penis. Right. You want to get, let's use this brush and get that white done better. So yeah, I mean, there's a way of conducting yourself. A lot of people don't develop, do they? They just stay the same. You move along from them, you know. You can sort of laugh at them from the distance, I suppose is what I'm doing. you know. I suppose it possibly isn't ideal talking about people on the internet. There was a thing on the news this morning about the police trying to stop people from filming accidents. I don't know if it's law or just sort of like guidance. And they're putting guidance out. I believe it's probably guidance. So that would be, in that scenario, for me, because I film a lot of things and I would film accidents, I would film everything, yeah. I would need to get more official. So that's where you would actually be a journalist. Or, I'm not saying you get away with everything if you were a journalist, but you'd have more right to actually be somewhere and do something if you were officially, well, I suppose if you were part of a union for a start, you were in that system. So I'm partly in it because I have an honours degree, film and media. So being totally, I think I was kind of getting at that with Craig with the trans judge, how she's a doctor and he doesn't, I don't think he's got any qualifications, like Craig doesn't. And I was detecting a slight bit of envy with him, because a lot of stuff he was saying about her was just kind of like that so what sort of moment, you know, it was like, yeah, what's your point, caller, you know. So he was really labouring it and actually coming across as quite an arse, which probably does suit his fan base if they're all dumplings like him. This isn't looking really white. It's kind of because I need to get some fresh white. Well, I'm looking through it. The sun's shining at it, so it's not completely and utterly totally white, don't think. It seems to be a slight touch of blue, but I think it's just a reflection. I don't suppose that's really a big problem. The clock face probably isn't entirely white anyway. Although Dr. Patterson was. Is that supposed to be a joke? Dr. Patterson was just white. There's more. The other element of this that I forgot to mention last time when I was talking about the conceptual side of this artwork is the time. It's a clock. So the clock was put there so that, well, I'm not going to say this, the Protestants could get to work on time, because it's in a Protestant area, and at that, well, it would have been at that time, and I think things have sort of morphed themselves in a different setting now, in modern utopian Scotland. You know, so the clock is quite significant, and it's a male. It's male. The clock is male, and the car is female. So we've got this silly woman. You can look at it any way you like, but we've got this daft woman that knocks the clock right over, and either she couldn't see where she was going, she didn't know she was on a pavement, I don't know exactly what, or maybe it was a decline in her mental state, could be an age thing. So there's a lot more to this than just being a painting of a mini and a clock, is really what I'm saying about this. You know, so I think that's gotten a little bit dirty, so to speak, but it's not completely and totally white. I think that matters. Right. Okay. Let's have a look from up here. Yeah, okay. Right, I'm going for the time lapse videos stopped working. Maybe it's full. Right, going for breakfast.